Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tim's Takeaways. Hope everybody had a great week. It was another busy week for me, getting out and about to a bunch of different events, high school events, middle school events, and be doing the same this week. So, looking forward to another great week of sports action. I want to start this week by congratulating all the class of 2022 commits. I have that list up on the website right now, so you can view it at any time. If you go to the home page on the main menu, there's a featured tab. Click on featured, and then you'll be able to click on it says class of 2022 commitment list. Just click on that, and you'll be able to see all the great athletes that in this area that have already committed. Of course, if you see a name that's not on there, please let me know. At the top, it gives you my email address. So please shoot me an email because I want to make sure that all the kids that are in the area that are committed are on that list. Once we start having signing days, obviously I'll go out to as many of those as possible, and I'll add pictures as well to that list. So that list will continue to update throughout the months to come. So be sure to check it out every once in a while just to see if there's any new names on there. Want to get going with some football this week and talk a little bit about the opening week of Mid-Eastern Conference play, and then also discuss a little bit about Pender, which is where I was at on Friday night. I saw the Patriots thoroughly dominate Dixon team. It was 54-0, and honestly could have been a lot worse. There was a running clock for the entire second half, but like I tweeted out on Friday night, Pender is maybe not fully back to where it was back when Tom Eames was there the first time, but it's awfully close. And Coach Eames has done a terrific job of just really re-energizing that program. The fans were out in full support. It was homecoming. Uh, the entire home side of the stadium was filled, and you could just see that the players were excited to be out there, um, and representing their school. So, I think Pender's in a really good position to make a little bit of a run this year, and I think the future is really bright. There's always great athletes that come out of that school, and it was just a matter of getting them onto the football field. That's what the issue was for several years. Some of the best athletes just weren't playing football, and now Coach Eames has got a lot of those guys out. Some basketball players that really aren't football players, but they're just great athletes. He's got them out there, and he's such a good coach that he can get them up to speed pretty quickly and just allow them to do what they do, which is be really fast and explosive. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the year has in store for Pender. The conference, I feel like they're easily the best team in the 1A in that split conference. The other two 1A teams are East Columbus and West Columbus. And then obviously they've got Trask, Whiteville, and South Columbus that are the 2A schools in that conference. So if they can knock off two of the three 2A schools, I think that gives them a lot of confidence. And then once they head into the 1A playoffs, I think they're one of the stronger teams in the East, and would not surprise me to see them make a bit of a run into the playoffs. The Mid-Eastern Conference season started. Unfortunately, we only had two games on Friday because the New Hanover North Brunswick game was postponed, and then Laney Ashley will actually play on Monday tomorrow. That's a game I'll be at as well. But South Brunswick, another dominant performance for the Cougars. And I've been kind of telling people since week one or week two that, this team is for real. And maybe people are starting to finally believe it now. That defense is really, really solid. I think they're one of the three or four best teams in the Mid-Eastern Conference this year. Big props to Rocky Lewis. Just doing a terrific job over there. They've got one of the best running backs, Danny Parker, in the conference. That defense is amazing. And then a lot of sophomores on offense. So this is a program on the rise here in southeastern North Carolina. And I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think Rocky Lewis has finally got this program to where he envisioned it could be. And I know the Southport community, Boiling Spring Lakes community, is really excited about what the Cougars are doing. They've got a huge game this Friday at home against New Hanover. A very winnable game, I think, for South Brunswick to potentially move them to 5-0, which would be an incredible start. That's where I plan on being Friday night. So looking forward to seeing the Cougars for the second time. It'll be my first time seeing New Hanover. So follow along on social media and obviously check back later on Friday night as I'll have a photo gallery and a recap. The other conference game was Hoggard and West Brunswick. And I've been telling people that even though West Brunswick's defense has given up a lot of points the first 2 weeks, they played two incredible teams out of South Carolina. Well, they played another great team in Hoggard on Friday night. And the Trojans held their own. They actually had a chance to tie the game. Um, had the ball near midfield, down 7 points. Unfortunately, weren't able to do it. Hoggard took care of business, won 28-14. So I think the Vikings still kind of the class of the league, but I think Laney's coming too. And I mentioned South Brunswick. North Brunswick's really strong this year, so the conference is really, really strong. West Brunswick, their schedule starts to get a little easier now, so I think they're going to start racking up some wins. And by the time the postseason rolls around, there's going to be some teams in 3A that don't want to see West Brunswick in the first or second round of the playoffs. The offense is playing really well. That defense is getting better, and will continue to get better as the season goes on. So hopefully we'll have a full week of full slate of games this week. 4 in the conference, in the Mid-Eastern Conference. Hoping that happens. Hoping nobody has to get shut down. And with quarantine stuff again, and we can get back to playing all these games on Friday nights. Transition now to volleyball, where on Tuesday night there was a huge volleyball match between Ashley and Hoggard. And I said last week I wanted to see how some of those young Hoggard players handled their first time in this rivalry match. And I think they were a little shell shocked coming out of the gate. And Ashley just really took a stranglehold by winning that first set and just never took their foot off the gas and rolled to a 3-set victory. I think that gives them, real control over the Mid-Eastern Conference now, since they have that head-to-head win, and not only do they have a head-to-head win, but they have a head-to-head win at Hoggard. So the next time they play will be at Ashley, which should favor the Screaming Eagles. So looking for them to finish out this conference, and I think they have enough talent, and they face some of these top teams now that they know what it's going to take to make a little bit of a playoff run. They've already played Pinecrest, they've played a Broughton, they've played Apex. So Ashley's played some really tough teams. Haven't really come up with the wins against those teams, but they know what it takes to beat them. So hopefully they can get a good seed into the playoffs and make a bit of a deep run. Hoggard rebounded nicely from that loss and picked up a victory later in the week. So Hoggard is going to be just fine. Like I said, a lot of young talent. It was just their first time in that rivalry game, so I think the second time they play Ashley, it'll be a little closer, and I don't think they'll be as nervous going into that match. And I really like what the future looks like over there at Hoggard for the next few years. Some big matchups this week. Boys soccer, we got Hoggard and Ashley on the boys soccer side, which I think is also a big matchup. Ashley had a nice win over Laney last week. Hoggard opened conference play with a pretty big victory. I think they're now 2-0 in the conference play. New Hanover still just continuing to roll. I'm not sure anybody's going to be able to compete with them in conference play this year, but looking forward to getting out to that Ashley Hoggard match on Tuesday night. I think the winner of that match will kind of take control for second place, but Laney's still in the mix too, even though they lost. I think those 3 teams, Laney, Ashley, and Hoggard, will kind of battle all year for that number 2 spot in the conference, behind obviously New Hanover, who I think is potentially the favorite to win the state title. We had a lot of great cross country performances this weekend. Go back and look at my daily roundup from Saturday to check out. We had a bunch of teams up in Cary and some in Charlotte. Just another sport that continues to do really well in southeastern North Carolina. It's grown tremendously, and of course we've got Hoggard girls who are two-time defending 4A state champions. The Laney girls are incredible this year. I think they've got enough depth to potentially challenge Hoggard. And then on the boys' side, we've got some terrific individual runners. Joseph Moran from Laney, Jack Starrett from Coastal Christian, Evan Pena from Hoggard, William Marhold from Ashley, some terrific individual runners. Hoggard's still the team to beat on that side, but some really great cross country runners. So looking forward to getting out and seeing some of those races here over the next few weeks, and then obviously the conference championships when they come around in just a few weeks. It's crazy that we're already halfway through these fall sports seasons, and we'll be getting to postseason stuff before we know it. So, hope you guys have a great weekend and a great week, and we'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye bye.